To federal politics now, and the Federal Treasurer Wayne Swan has spoken a short while ago ahead of today's big Reserve Bank board meeting to decide on interest rates. Let's take a listen.
Look, I've got to be very quick this morning, but I just wanted to make a couple of comments because clearly there are challenges in the global economy, but we face those challenges from a position of strength. We've got solid domestic growth, we've got job growth, we've got over 750,000 jobs created since the government's been in office. We've also got a healthy banking system, we've got strong public finances, we've got a really strong investment pipeline, and of course interest rates are lower than they were at any time under the Liberals when you look at the official cash rate. So I think Australians can have confidence that we do face these challenges from a position of strength. Now we have a meeting of the Reserve Bank board later today. I don't intend to preempt that decision, but this is where strong budget management really matters. And bringing our budget back to surplus does give maximum flexibility to the Reserve Bank to cut rates if it should decide to do so. And the other thing about bringing the budget back to surplus is that it provides a buffer against this global uncertainty that we are seeing. So, for example, in Australia, our budget is in a better position than many other developed economies, and in terms of our growth outlook, stronger than every other major developed economy this year and next. So when Australians are looking at events internationally, they're thinking about what is going on in the global economy. Here in Australia, we are in a far better position than just about any other developed economy.
What's your expectation of the banks if the Reserve does cut the cash rate?
Well, I don't want to preempt the decision of the Reserve Bank. I don't do that. They take their decisions independently.
Martin Parkinson says that Australia has the capacity to go back into deficit if necessary as the automatic stabilisers kick in. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'm not going to deal with hypothetical situations, but I'll make this point, and I'll make this point really strongly. This government has a proven track record of dealing with global instability.
Mr Swan, do you believe that Australia's asylum seeker system is fundamentally broken following the revelations in Four Corners last night?
I'll leave those matters for the responsible minister and for the Federal Police.
What about the revelations last night on Four Corners?
Well, I'll leave those matters for the minister and the Federal Police. I'm dealing here with matters pertaining to the global economy, the Reserve Bank board meeting later today. They're my sole focus, and that's what the Australian people would expect.
When you just said then that this government has a proven track record in dealing with global instability, when asked if you'll go into deficit, does that mean that is a consideration for this government?
I'm not going to deal with
the global economy deteriorate further?
Well, I'm not going to deal with hypothetical situations. I make the point that we do have a proven track record in dealing with global instability. This is the point that has been made by Mr Parkinson and others, but we don't deal with those hypothetical situations. It is not the responsible thing to do.
Mr Swan looked at that hypothetical and looked at these comments by the head of Treasury and said that if we don't reach that surplus, we could be at risk of losing our AAA credit rating. Surely that's something you're considering.
Can I just make this point, and this will be my final point. Australia, for the first time in our history, has the gold-plated AAA credit rating from the three major global rating agencies. So when I say bringing the budget back to surplus provides a buffer against global uncertainty and gives maximum flexibility to the Reserve Bank, that's a real live example of why our goal, given our growth forecast of coming back to surplus, is so important. Thanks.
The Treasurer Wayne Swan speaking at a fairly brief media conference there, refusing to take questions on the people smuggling issue but focusing front and centre on the economy. Very interestingly, not being drawn on whether the government will stick to that surplus if global economic conditions do deteriorate in the months ahead.
Quite ambiguous in his answer, I would suggest.
Use the word hypothetical, I think, at least twice there, so it'll be very interesting to flesh that story out as the day goes on.